Juice is good. Juice is good.
There you go, mate.
On the record, thank you.
Well, first of all, I guess I should explain why I've invited you over here, because usually this is a programme whereby we invade music lovers' houses and they go through their record collections, and therefore I guess it becomes like a soundtrack to their life.
Yeah.
So hopefully I've got enough here that is going to cover the bases that where you want to go.
Yeah, it was a hell of a commute to my house.
Because where are you living now?
I'm living in Harlem.
Right, well, welcome to Queen's Park.
Thank you, appreciate it. Glad to be here.
And let's start right back at the beginning then. Let's go back, because you were born in Chicago,
Right.
but raised in Tennessee.
Right.
And why was that?
I was raised by my grandmother, you know, down in blues country.
And who would have been the biggest influence on you in your life at that point?
Oh, my grandmother.
Right, yeah.
Who was a tremendous influence.
Right. As a musician, as a person?
As a person and as a musician, because like she got us our first piano. There was a funeral parlor next door to our house. Mm-hmm. When they decided to move to another part of town, they were getting ready to dump the old upright that they had that they used for the services.
Yeah.
So she paid the guy out who was taking it to the dump like $6 or $8 or something for them to move it into our house instead. So that's how we got our first piano, and that's how I began to play.
Let's tuck into your first earliest memories, because this is obviously the golden era of rock and roll.
This is when rock and roll just had the rocks in it. It didn't have the roll yet.
Yeah.
You know, like Bamba and Donna, you know, Richie Valens things. My girlfriend's name was Wanda, so we did Donna. You know, we sang it in the class talent show, and it was, oh, Wanda. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, this is it,
Yeah.
When do you reckon the last time you heard this was?
I can't imagine. I can't remember when
Let's
the
have a
last
blast
time it
then.
was. You
Let's
know,
see those memories flood back. I do this for a living, you know.
Yeah,
You wouldn't guess.
Oh my goodness.
I had a girl, Donna was her name. Since she left me, I never been the same. 'Cause I love my girl, Donna, where can you be? Where can you be? Now that you're gone, I'm left all alone.
That was a huge hit, but being in the South, you were obviously surrounded by more blues-orientated stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that rock and roll was just breaking through, so we had 100 Pounds of Clay and the Platters and the Diamonds. I mean, you know, everybody. It didn't used to be just R&B over here and white music over there.
It was all in there
all
together.
Music was music.
Right. We get an image of what goes on over there. You know, you can read so many books, but what was it like in the South?
Jackson was like two different cities. It was like the black side and the white side, and like when people saw each other was when they all went to town to the shopping centers on Saturdays.
Did music ever integrate?
Well, I'm saying the music was all the same, as far as I knew, you know, in terms of like what was being played on the radio and stuff. But like, we sat in the balcony in the movies. They sat downstairs. There was one side for blacks and one side for whites in the bus stations. There was a colored drinking fountain in the parks that said colored, you know, and the white on the other side. And I mean, it was totally separated.
I remember reading a book by a guy called Stanley Booth, and he showed a photograph that was the zoo was only allowed to be visited by black people on a certain day.
Right. There was only a certain time.
Yeah.
You know, when they had the fair, the Mid-South Fair, they had one week, and then we had the next week, and it was a totally different carnival that came in for the black people.
And did you have any white friends? Did you have people who you socialized at that point?
No. And when the schools were integrated, and I became one of the 3 first children in Western Tennessee to go to school with white people, I saw the difference. Like, particularly in science and things, like where they would actually carry out these experiments that you saw in the science book, where we would just guess what would happen. Because they had a laboratory and a Bunsen burner and all the kind of things that you're supposed to have. We didn't have any of that.
And moving into your teenage years, you moved to what would have been, I guess, a very sophisticated New York, didn't you?
Compared to Tennessee, yeah.
How old were you then?
I was 13.
So upon arriving in New York, what changes did you see there?
Well, first of all, the neighborhood, you know, more so than anything else. I lived in a completely integrated neighborhood. That was a total difference from the fact that I'd been in an entirely black community in Tennessee.
Right.
The difference between the people was obvious, like the South and the hospitality. In the old neighborhood where I lived in Tennessee, where everybody knew me and my grandmother, I could go into anybody's house anytime I wanted to, get something to eat, or get something to drink, or watch their television. Sometimes people would come home from work and see me sitting in their living room watching TV.
Did you like the change?
I appreciated the difference. I was lonely for a while because
Must have been intimidating.
I didn't know many people when I first got there, but as I got to know folks, I got along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, I mentioned there New York must have been quite sophisticated, and I guess a singer from that period who displayed a sophistication in her vocal was Dionne Warwick.
Yeah, Dionne Warwick was very good. Like during high school, that was one of my favorite singers. I mean, like her things, particularly with Hal David and Burt Bacharach, were things that were attractive to me. You know, like anyone who had a heart, don't make me over, walk on by. Those were pieces.
You just said the magic words, walk on by. Should we have a blast of that?
Yeah, please. Yeah, that'd be great.
Here we go.
Yeah, this was great. This was great. We used to dance to this.
If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry each time we meet, walk on by, walk on by. Make believe that you don't see the tears, just let me grieve in private, 'cause each time I see you I break down and cry. Walk on by, stop, walk on by, stop.
A
real beautiful love song as well.
Yeah, and
were you a bit of a hit with the ladies?
Well, I was doing what I could, but like I was from Tennessee, you know, like so I was a little bit laid back on the ladies.
And those were your earliest memories. Can you actually remember the first record that you actually ever bought, that you went out?
Yeah. I bought this album. I went to see a concert at Callier Hall. I went to see Lou Rawls.
Okay.
And I went home, and the next day I went out and bought one of his albums, which was like a live album where he did the long monologues and this, that, and other.
Right, okay, let's have a listen to this.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're going to tell me this was an influence on you in your delivery, really, because...
Yeah, well, don't say it around Lou, because I'm sure he'd be offended. But I just think that there's so few baritones that we all get compared to one another.
Well, it's actually it's the delivery, isn't it? It
has a lot to do with that. Yeah, I think that him coming from Missouri, from St. Louis, right across the river from Memphis, probably brings us into a regional sort of similarity.
No.
Yeah.
Have you not heard this for
The Windy City.
This is it. This is the one. Yeah, I love this.
The Hulk. The almighty Hulk.
Chicago, man.
I'm gonna push my way out of here, even though I can't say when. But I'm gonna get off of this dead-end street, and I ain't never gonna come back again. Never. Come back to this dead-end street no more, no, 'cause I'm gonna get me a job.
Would you say that was, I mean, it's almost a political record with a small p, in so much that it's just using the issues as opposed to pushing for a solution?
Well, you're trying to describe your life to make people understand that you're just a human being. You've gone through this. You know, like everybody's gone through problems and trials and tribulations in their life. You don't want to make yourself sound like the only person who ever had a dead-end street to live on, or not enough to eat in the evening. Sometimes, like, it's not that gigantic a thing. What you're trying to do is to humanize images.
Because that record's 1967, which is quite a while ago now. Now, 1967 to a lot of people perceive it as the summer of love, the hippies, the free love, the drugs. Whereas, you know, there was a lot of other things going on. The inner cities were in turmoil, weren't they?
Yeah, all through the 60s, from, say, 63 to 68, I don't remember any summers of love. I remember some summers of a lot of trouble and heat. in the States. And 67 was Cleveland and Detroit and some fires in the cities and some people trying to understand what was going on there. And 68 also with the assassination of Dr. King and Robert Kennedy. There were a lot of trouble in the cities there also. So I don't remember those as Summers of Love.
Yeah. The message of black consciousness was really, I guess at this point, sort of came through far more in the jazz records. The jazz records of an older period. I'm thinking about things like John Coltrane.
Yeah, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, those people more known as visionaries during that period of time.
Okay. Should we have one of these?
Yeah, please.
Coltrane, My Favourite Thing?
My favorite things. His
Is that one of yours?
Yeah. I used to be a DJ also. When I went to school, like I was trying to make a living, you know, and you had to take on some kind of job on campus. So I was working the graveyard shift. I was working like from midnight till 5 in the morning. So I was playing a lot of jazz, a lot of long cuts, so I could do my homework in between.
It's not Julie Andrews, is it?
No, well, not exactly, but it's still my favorite things.
Let me ask you, what was your take on what was probably the most popular form of black music at that time, which was known as the sound of young America, which of course was Motown?
Yeah, all of the stuff that they did was brand new sound-wise.
Yeah. This leads us into what is cited as not only the greatest Motown album, but probably one of the greatest albums ever, which of course is Marvin.
Well, you know, it's a funny thing, but the story is that when Marvin got ready to do that album, it didn't sound commercial enough for Motown.
Yeah. But prior to this, there was a strange tale that all Marvin wanted to be was the Black Sinatra. He had this fantasy with his tuxedos, and you know, he was really into.
I think that was part of the Motown image. Motown had an image for everybody, you know.
Well, if we're going to go for a track off this. Go on, I'll let you choose one of this.
Yeah, take the last one, Inner City Blues, Make Me Wanna Holler, because we did a cover of that.
Of course, you did a fantastic version of it as well, on Reflections.
And thought that was really, really a good idea to do, even though we added a little poem to it.
Did Marvin ever hear your version?
I'm not sure, but he should have. It's a very political song, yeah.
Beautiful.
Before we see it, you take it. Oh, make me wanna holler the way they do my life. Yeah. Make me wanna holler the way they do my life. This ain't living, this ain't living. No, no, baby, this ain't living. No, 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 no.
Can you remember when politics entered into your life?
Sure. There was never a time when there weren't politics in your life. As long as you're a taxpayer, you know that the money's going to do something. And they're to provide services and to hire politicians, and you're never without it.
Yeah. We've just been listening to Marvin Gaye just then,
Right.
and another major Motown artist, of course, was Mr. Stevie Wonder, a man who swapped his tuxedo for his dashiki,
Yeah.
if that's the right pronunciation.
Dashiki, yeah. Yeah, like Stevie's a good friend. We went on a tour with him that was later instrumental in legislating Dr. King's birthday as a national holiday.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the very, very beautiful visions that Stevie had.
Do you think if I was being cynical, if you wanted to be cynical about it, there was a lot of black artists at that point. The Temptations certainly had a very definite change of direction. Stevie had a very definite change of direction, whereby they were seen as being politically aware artists. Do you think that was almost like a commercial thought?
No, I don't really think so. Not in Stevie's case. By the time this commercial political change took place, he was a young adult.
Right, and he was aware of it.
And he was aware of these things,
right.
and began to program them and to project them himself.
Do you think that your political beliefs have actually hindered your commercial success?
I'm not sure. I think that whatever commercial success I've had has to do with our consistency.
Yeah.
The fact that we've always tried to come from a point of view of a certain philosophy that was not live and let live, but that all men are created equal, and that women are created even more equal.
Because if we're going to listen to a track of this, we're going to listen to what we're going to listen to, Superstition.
Superstition is good, yeah. That used to be one of my favorite dance cuts.
At which point, I must introduce you to a fantastic feature within my flat, which is my disco ball.
Okay.
Okay. Because I am one of the world's greatest dancers.
I understand that. I understand the conditions under which you believe so.
7 years of bad luck. The days in your past. Believing things that you don't understand when you're sad. The bus is shining away.
Now we're leading into another tune because obviously Terry Callier performed the track.
Yeah, I was
This your next
fascinated to find
selection.
out you just met him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He did on this album here. I think he did both African Violet and let me see, Martin St. Martin. Yeah, about Martin Luther King. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was very, very important album.
So,
It's called Fire and Ice by Terry Callier for folks who are looking for
quite a
things.
rare one as well, and I'm afraid to say it's not mine. It's my brother-in-law's, and he's seen it. He's going to ask for it back.
Okay, well hopefully by the time he sees it, you will have made
I
a
would
tape
have
of
left the country.
it. You will have made a tape of it.
Right, let's listen to it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear this.
And up at the south there came a man trying to spread a little love around this wasted land. He had compassion for his fellow men, regardless of the colors of their skin. Now I was touched by the things that he would do and say. He told the true believers love will surely make a way. He had a dream of peace and brotherhood. Some called him a prophet and some misunderstood. But Martin, your name will never, never, never be forgotten. St. Martin, your name will never be forgotten.
A beautiful record.
Yeah, like I'm not here to do commercials, but if you get a chance to see Terry Callier, you should go and see him, and if you get a chance to get a hold of this record in particular,
This
Fire
one,
and
yeah.
Ice. What Color Is Love and Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
By Terry Callier, 2 beautiful records and 2 favorites of mine.
Both you and Terry are held in very, very high regards in England.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we've been chosen. I feel fortunate to have the kind of following I have over here.
How does America view your politics now? Do they still see you as an agitator?
Well, I've always taken objection to that because I don't think that people who are talking about peace and about everybody doing better should be looked at as the troublemakers as opposed to the folks who keep us from being that way.
And how do you feel about the mantle that you are quite often called the godfather of rap?
Well, I think that's as far back as those people go. Like, I heard Oscar Brown Jr. when I was younger. I heard Nicky Giovanni. I heard The Last Poets. They could just as easily have placed that on them. I think that the change that we brought about was that we had both music and lyrics together. That we weren't just talking all the time. Sometimes we were actually putting the words in melodic form.
But rap is, I mean, if you were to choose a rap record, we've got the likes of Public Enemy here. Was that a big
Chuck
thing?
D, I feel, is a very influential spokesman for that generation.
Yeah. Well, let's have the blast of Public Enemy then.
Okay, please do.
Yes, the rhythm's a rebel. Without a pause, I'm lowering my level. The hard rhymer, where you never been, I'm in. You want styling? You know it's time again. D, the enemy, telling you to hear it. They praise the music, it's time to play the lyrics. Some say no to the album, the show. Bum rush the sound, I made a year ago. I guess you know, you guess I'm just a radical. Not on sabbatical, yes, to make it critical. The The only part of your body should be partying too. Pass the power on the hour from the rebel to you.
Hey, yo, Chuck, man, I don't understand this, man. Yo, you got to slow down, man. You're losing them.
Radio suckers never play me on the mix. They just okay me now, known and grown. When they're clocking my zone, there's no sneaking and taking everything now the brother owns.
What about the criticisms that are levelled at rap now? That it's misogynistic, that it's materialistic?
Yeah, a response to social conditions, I'm afraid. No, I think that it comes out of the conditions that people are living under, and the things that oftentimes youngsters say, and they're not so well settled and so well assimilated that they have the actual nerve and the actual ambition to make things change better for their lives. Mm-hmm. Well, there's always criticism. There's criticism of our work as racist and as uneven and as narrow-minded, and you know, like as well as criticism for my own vocal power. So I'm saying, like, there will always be.
Do you recognise it in the lyrics, though? Can you recognise it? The Public Enemy is obviously an exception.
In some of it, but I don't listen to that kind of stuff. I'm saying that, like, I'm looking for a more positive outcome. Yeah. And therefore, I'm working towards that. Therefore, I listen to that kind of stuff. I'm looking for things to be more positive.
Well, I guess your next choice is Disposable Heroes.
And Michael Franti, yeah, Michael is a protege of mine.
But this track, this is the one that you selected, which is Television Drug of a Nation. This was, you know, it had a success, that's for sure, but not great success was thrown their way, probably because they decided not to toe the lines that other rappers were taking.
I saw at the time that they were going in their own direction, and I appreciated the choice that they'd made.
And a nodding reference to one of your tracks as well, no doubt.
Yeah, and somewhat, you know, like perhaps.
Were you proud of that?
Yeah,
we're obviously talking about the revolution will not be televised.
I'm pleased when things are talked about in a positive fashion. It means they've had some positive effect.
Okay.
TV, its satellite links are United States of unconsciousness. Apathetic, therapeutic, and extremely addictive. The methadone metronome, pumping out 150 channels 24 hours a day. You can flip through all of them, and still there's nothing worth watching. TV is a reason why less than 10% of our nation reads books daily. Why most people think Central America means Kansas. Socialism means un-American, and apartheid is the new headache remedy. Absorbed in its world, it's so hard to find us. It shapes our minds the most. Maybe the mother of our nation should remind us that we're sitting too close to the television, the drug of a nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation on television. The drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation.
Anyone who says that they're not interested in politics or they're trying to ignore it, that's exactly where politicians would like to see you be. You know, the less attention you pay to it, the more they can get away with, the more things they can do that do not serve the entire community.
Do you think you can write political songs that can actually change?
I think that some of the songs that we've written have changed people's minds, and that's what changes the world.
Gil, thank you very much, sir.
Good. And when you're
fantastic selection.
When you're in Harlem, give me a call. We'll go down to the clubs, man, and raise some hell, okay? I'll see what kind of dancer you really are.
It's true, honestly.
I understand you believe it's true. I'll give you my opinion after that, so. Not having seen you, I can't say whether you're the greatest dancer I've ever seen.
What have I done?
1, 2, 3, 4.
See that black boy over there running scared, his old man in a bottle. He done